It was a dark, stormy night, Biscuits, for a spooky, spooky ghost story. So as we ease towards Spooktober, I thought I would tell some of the spooky real-life folklore that I've read or heard. And today, I thought we would talk about all the many spooky occurrences in Arizona. So I lived in Arizona for a while, and I was surprised by just how many haunted locations there are, how many spooky, weird, eerie things occur that nobody can quite explain, and all the violence that is just stirred up, this kind of energy there. So I was in Tucson in February for my grandfather's memorial, and while there, I went back to some of my old haunts, and it reminded me of just this spooky energy that exists there. There's the Fox Theater in downtown Tucson, and that has a bunch of creepy stories connected to it. And when you go to the food concession area, things will move. The employees that work there at night will talk about being touched and felt and feeling just like caresses on their skin that are so eerie, And I think that for me, because I know all these stories, when I'm back in Tucson, it is always a very eerie, spooky place, because I know that there are all these haunted little tidbits and succulent tales. There's the mission there that is just, filled to the rafters with ghosts and horrible history and violence against the native population. The mission is incredibly haunted. When you go there, it is such a heavy atmosphere, right? You feel all this just pain and suffering, the death that's occurred, these violent, painful, terrifying deaths. And you can just feel that these spirits that have felt this and have died this way don't know how to leave, right? You just feel the heaviness of their spirit there, that they're so traumatized in life that they can't really figure out how to pass on and lighten up to where they can, move on to the other side and cross to that veil. And I always think that places where there are a lot of spirits that are not crossing over all at once can almost be overwhelming to hear and feel and sense, because you hear these spooky sounds and you'll hear the scratching and the tapping and just eerie footsteps on materials that shouldn't be making them. You'll see things out of the corner of your eye, or almost like double exposure, faded out things. When you turn to look at something, then when you really focus, it's gone. And you just feel the weight of all of these spirits unable to cross over. It's such a thing. I think anywhere you go in Tucson, you get the sense that dark things have occurred on a lot of this land. You go to East Tucson, and you wander through some of the desert and the shrubs, and you really can see how people just perish from each other, and they perish from what they do to one another, and just the environment is so harsh and so inhospitable to human life that it becomes difficult to not accumulate all these spirits and all these ghosts, right? That it's so eerie and terrifying. Downtown Tucson has a lot of spooky spots. It's got the train depot. It's got the theater that I talked about. It's got a lot of haunted buildings. So if you walk around and you don't want to go on a full ghost tour, I really think it's a good idea to just go at night and just experience the sensations. Because you will feel when you get near a haunted building in Tucson, there is some heavy, weird energy. that's got some weird vibes, and I don't know where it comes from. I think it comes from just the sheer amount of hauntings that go on there. Because I don't see how the desert would particularly accumulate. Like, why would the desert accumulate more ghosts than other places? I just think the Old West has been a violent place. It continues to be violent. You know, I've talked about this before, but like, even modern day Arizona can be very violent. There's a lot of violent things that happen to this day around Arizona. There's a lot of chaos and harm that's caused. And, you know, you just walk around from place to place and you get the sense that this is land that has been drenched in a lot of blood over time, right? It is soaked through to the bedrock and it's not coming out, right? Some of these spirits are just around for a long time. There is, I'm trying to remember the name of it, it's totally escaped my noggin. St. August? It's at the intersection of River and Campbell in Tucson, and it is this beautiful church with lovely grounds. And when you walk through there, it's Episcopalian, I believe, or it was when I lived there. I don't know if they still operate that. It is a spooky place, and it's one of those places that's immediately very peaceful, and you breathe in the peacefulness, and then as you walk around, you know, you start to feel almost emanating from the rocks, just the spirits that linger and hang around the area, right? I don't know that they're all attached to this one spot. I think that some areas in Tucson just attract more ghosts. I don't think they're all from there. I don't think like all these people died in one spot. I think that there's just spots there that hold on to their energy and that you really feel that, you know, little epicenters around town. And when you walk around this church, you know, you really do, you feel it emanating from the rocks, this eeriness. This almost like someone's there, and yet you know no one is. And so it's so disconcerting when you feel that you feel somebody's presence, right? You feel a human's presence, and yet you know that there's no one there, right? Or that everybody that's there is accounted for, right? That the energy of that person is not accounted for, and that it makes no sense, right? And so trying to get your logical, reasonable, modern brain to connect with this eeriness of this area can be really hard, because a lot of people are there for fun. There's snowbirds, there's a university there, so there's a lot of college students, and so you're walking around this very, you know, modern life, Southwest, and you just keep getting little taps and little pats and little pokes and little energetic pokes of things that aren't quite natural, just weird supernatural things that happen. And I think that's one of the reasons it's a really easy town to go around and sense weird, strange spookiness, because it's everywhere. There's just an eeriness to it, to that whole area, that I think comes through for anybody that goes there. It has a definite spooky quality to it. Okay, biscuits, I am going to see you in the next video. If you are looking for something to read for Spooktober, click the link to all my books in the description box, and it links to Which Way to Romance, which is a spooky, fun, saucy, witchy romance that's kind of great for this spooky season for fall. I would love it if you let me know which chapter was your favorite on that book. I love hearing from you about it. I will see you in the next video. Don't get too scared. Don't let the goosebumps bite.